quick question. Do we use money to buy things? Or is money for buying things? This is one of the most common grammar mistakes that intermediate and advanced students make. But don't worry, in this video you'll see exactly when and how to use to and for, and you'll see it's pretty easy. Okay, so one of the most common ways we use to and for in English is when we're talking about reason or motive. What do I mean by this? Well, it's simple. Just say the first part of the sentence and then stop and ask yourself, why? What's the motive? What's the reason? And then answer that question with to or for. Look at these examples. She studies hard. Why? What's the reason? What's the motive? Why does she study hard? To advance in her career. He runs every day. Why? What's his motive? Why does he do that? To improve his health. We're saving money. Why? What's the reason? What's the motive? Why are you saving money? To travel to New Zealand. Now we can also do the same trick with for instead of to. The only difference is that the grammar changes a little bit. Okay, so as you can see, when we use to show reason or motive, we use it with an infinitive verb. So using the example from the beginning of this video, we use money. Why? What's the reason? To buy things. We use money to buy things. But with for, we can use more or less the same sentence, but we have to replace the verb with a noun or a noun phrase. She studies hard. Why? What's the reason? What's the motive? For career advancement. He runs every day. Why? For improved health benefits. We're saving money. Why? For what reason? For a trip to New Zealand. Okay, so quick summary. When we're talking about the reason or the motive or the why of something, we use to followed by a verb, or we use for followed by a noun like trip, or a noun phrase like improved health benefits. Okay, let's have a look at some of the specific meanings of to. I've grouped them together for you just to make it a little bit easier. And before we look at this, just remember that to doesn't always have to have a specific meaning. I mean, think about these examples. I need to leave early today. He wants to offer me a job. In these sentences, to is simply there to form the infinitive of the verbs to leave and to offer. There's no extra meaning involved in the word to. Okay, so let's have a look at some cases where to does offer a specific meaning. And, you know, there are always exceptions in English, but if we look at guidelines and patterns like the ones I'm going to show you, it always makes learning English a little bit easier. Right, one of the most common uses of to is to show movement or direction towards a place or towards a destination. She walked to the market. The bird flew back to its nest. Last year I went to Milan. To in these sentences tells us where something is going, or where something went, or where something will go. We also use to when we want to show the person who is receiving an action or who is receiving an object. Please give these flowers to my mother. To my mother. The referee explained the rules to the players. Can you throw that ball to me? Okay, so give to, explain to, throw to. In each case, we're using to show who is the receiver of the action. Give, explain, throw. So, in fact, all the examples that I've given you so far are really related to movement or direction. To the market, to Milan, to my mother, to me. Easy. Another extremely common use of to is to show links or connections between things. A common one of these is the relationship between people. I feel a strong connection to her. They are related to each other. She's been married to Alex for 5 years. He's the assistant to the regional manager. Okay, that's his relationship with the regional manager. He's his assistant. And we can also use to show a physical connection between two things. The caravan is attached to the car. Please tie this tag to your bag. The chewing gum is stuck to the chair. So again, we have a verb with to express this physical attachment of one thing to another thing. Okay, we can also use to when we're referring to approximate numbers. Somewhere between a lower number and a higher number. Like, there were about 40 to 50 people at the meeting. It'll probably cost you 30 to 35 pounds. Okay, I'm just guessing, estimating a number between those two numbers. And actually, when we write this, we normally use a little dash. Like, you'll see the instructions that say, put it in the oven for 30 to 35 minutes. But when we're reading those instructions, we always have to say the word to. 30 to 35 minutes. Okay, let's move on to another way that to can be used, and that is in relation to time. Because to can have the same meaning as until or till. Jane worked to 5 o'clock and then went straight home. To 5 o'clock means the same as until 5 o'clock. We're going to wait till the end of the month. Till the end of the month means until the end of the month. Same thing. Just be careful though, because if we're using a subject-verb phrase as the end time, like I waited until she arrived, subject-verb, that is the end time. In those situations, we need to use until and not to. Okay, we cannot say I waited till she arrived. No. Okay, also in this time category is when we state the start time and the finish time of something. We use from ba 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 to ba ba ba. She often works from dawn to dusk. From dawn, that's when the first light appears in the morning, to dusk, that's the last light in the evening. She played the piano from 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock. From 10 to 12. I went to England for my holidays and it only rained twice, from Monday to Thursday and from Friday to Sunday. So as you can see there are lots of different meanings of to, but when we look at them all together, they usually mean something related to either movement, connection, or time. Okay, so before we look at when to use for, just hit pause on the video and write one example sentence using to in the comments. Okay, now let's have a look at the different meanings and different situations in which we use for. There are lots of them, so I'm going to move pretty quickly through them all. And remember to download the summary of this lesson. It's free, it includes all the rules, all the examples, and also a test. Why? For what reason? To check you've mastered this bit of grammar. Okay, when do we use for? The first situation is to show the benefits or disadvantage of something. Like, this food is beneficial for your health. That smoke is harmful for the environment. Daily walks are good for me. Smoking is bad for you. Okay, so here we're expressing the benefits or the disadvantage of something for a person, for me, for you, or for a thing, for the environment, for your health. We can also use for to show the function of an object, like why does it exist? What is it used for? And in this situation, we need to follow for with a noun or gerund. A keyboard is used for typing. These glasses are for reading. And of course, from the introduction of today's video, money is for buying things. Here I'm explaining the function of money, explaining why money exists, what's its purpose, what's its function. Money is for buying things. Okay, just like with to, for can also be used in the context of time. And for specifies the length of a time that an action happens, okay, the duration. And it doesn't matter if this is in the past, in the present, or in the future, but we always follow the word for with the duration of time to express how long an action happens, did happen, or will happen. I've lived in this city for 10 years. He worked there for a short period. I'm going to wait for 15 minutes and then leave. Okay, so if you want to talk about a duration of time, we use for plus the quantity of time. Right, for is also commonly used for things being exchanged or swapped. Look at these examples. I traded my old car for a new one. Okay, I gave my car and I got another one in exchange. She substituted honey for sugar in the recipe. Okay, she didn't use sugar, she used honey instead as a substitute. So when we replace one thing for another, we use for. All right, another way we use for is to show support towards something that you agree with. I'm sure you've seen this in writing exercises that you've done in English, like write 200 words giving some points for and against the new law. Yes, so here are another couple of examples. I always cheer for the smaller teams in competitions. Okay, I cheer in support of the smaller teams. If you're not for the new law, you're against it. Okay, if you're not in favor of the new law, well, you are the opposite of that. You're against it. Okay, and in a similar way, we can use for when we are showing thanks or gratitude towards something. And again, we normally follow this with the noun or gerund. Thank you for helping me move house. He showed his gratitude for the support received from his family. I'm thankful for every opportunity that comes my way. Okay, representation. For is sometimes used to show that an action was done to represent someone else or something else. So basically, when you do an action instead of someone else doing that action. As a lawyer, I speak for my clients. I may work for a large corporation, but my beliefs are my own. Don't speak for me. I can speak for myself. Okay, in that last sentence, I'm sure you've been in that situation where someone asks you a question and then another person answers instead of you. They answer for you. They speak for you. And you're like, don't speak for me. I can speak for myself. Now, quick question. Have you ever seen for being used to mean because? Well, this is a little bit old-fashioned nowadays, especially in spoken English, but it is still used in some formal situations or in written English, formal written English. He felt upset, for he knew he was to blame. Reading fiction is beneficial, for it can make us have more empathy. Now, this doesn't really sound natural anymore in regular spoken English, so be aware of that. I mean, I recommend using because when you're speaking, but you will see this written in formal situations, especially in formal written English. Right, remember to download the PDF worksheet of this lesson. You will get a full summary of the lesson, a practice exercise to make sure that you've learned everything correctly, and also access to all my other PDFs to help you reach an advanced level of English. So there's the link to download it. And if you want more help with prepositions, I'll tell you how to use in, on, and at in that video there. Bye for now.